Hi guys, my name is Nicolette Mashile. I am also known as the Financial Bunny. Welcome to the Financial Bunny TV. Remember, nothing that we say on this channel constitutes as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please do speak to somebody that is certified and registered with the FSCA. So I want to take a whole journey back to chapter 1 of What's Your Move, a collection of ordinary financial lessons that I released back in 2020. And I want to speak specifically to chapter 1 because I feel like, we jump a lot and we try to teach people financial education, but we don't really go to the core of why sometimes certain things are a little bit difficult. And I actually had this light bulb moment. I was doing a financial coaching session 2 days ago with one of my clients, and I was like, this is where the actual problem is. So often what I'm finding is that people are very reactive to their finances. So often a lot of people seek financial education when they are already in trouble, or they are either in debt, or they're trying to fix something, or they woke up, they had like an incident and realized, I don't have enough money in my savings, or I don't have enough investments. What we want to do is to start you off where things are still good. So if you read the chapter, I speak about how I left my high school and I went to Rhodes University. I was a size 30, and then boom, at Rhodes University, after 4 years of being there, I left there looking like I could roll down the hill if you just tripped me, and I felt because I had gained so much weight. We were calling it at that time first year spread. Basically, I was in the dining hall, and when I was not in the dining hall, I was in my room. I was having noodles. I was having Tropica juice. I'll never forget Tropica juice, and I was watching DC++, and that's basically all I did. But what people don't realize is that just like weight, financial education, the bad habits of financial education are actually very gradual, right? Most of us, we learn and we pick up these bad habits as we're going. Sometimes you don't even know they're bad habits. And let me give you a better picture of what I'm trying to explain. So the young lady that I was doing financial coaching comes to me, and she says to me, I say to her, so tell me what you do with your money every single month. She's like, no. Actually, the question wasn't that. The question I asked her was, what is your relationship with money? She said, Nicolette, I'm not bad, but I'm not great. So I said, what does that mean? She's like, every single month I make sure that I pay for all of the important things, and then I've got a little bit of money. So that's how I know that I'm not bad is that I can pay for the important things. But how I know that I'm also not good is that I can spend money without a budget. Then I'm like, okay, so there's two things that I've noticed in that specific instance, right? The one, she says, important things. Then when I ask her, what are the important things? She says, I can pay rent, I can buy grocery, I can pay for things that I need to be able to live. Then I say, okay, so how much is in your savings? How much are you contributing? 0. She's not contributing to savings. How much are you contributing to investments? 2. Nothing. Let me vibe. Shama lights. And I'm like, how are these all the important things? Because the most important rule of financial education is pay yourself first. So if you're not saving or you're investing, you ain't paying yourself first. So you're not doing the important things. But the reason why she then says, I'm not so good, is because she can spend money without thinking about it, because she doesn't actually have a budget, but she can afford to spend money. Why? Because after she does these important things, she still has a bit of a disposable income, right? So she spends outside of this non-existent budget. But this is the big problem that a lot of South Africans and young people have, is that when they start off in a job, they find themselves salary rich. What do I mean when I say salary rich or income rich? You may find that your needs versus how much you earn, you actually one of the wealthy people. People think that when we say they're wealthy is when we say you are earning 50,000 rand. No, because remember, you could be earning 50,000 rand and needing 48,000 rand every single month to live. But when you are salary rich, it's when your needs in comparison to how much you earn are actually quite far apart. So you may earn a salary of, let's say, 10,000 rand, but your needs are actually coming to like 4,000 rand. So you actually have a disposable of 6,000 rand. This is when people learn bad habits. When they've got a disposable income that they don't actually account for. The problem with it is that if you look at South Africa and how quickly people's salaries actually grow in comparison to the expense or the cost of living, you see a very big disparity. So in 12 months, so many things can change in your life that all of a sudden, that 10,000 rand you were earning, only needing 4,000, now all of a sudden you're starting to feel like you're choking. Oh my goodness, let's say maybe you get a baby. Let's say maybe you buy a car. You make a decision to buy a car. Because too many of us make financial decisions for today. Today I can afford a car that is going to have an installment maybe of 3.5. Because I've got a disposable income of 6,000 rand. But now you brought a car in, and once you bring a car in, a whole lot of things come in. Petrol, I need to pay ukuzula. Ngeke phela bathi uthenga imoto ungazuli. Singeke siyokubona kanjani ukuthi uthenga imoto. So ufuna ukuzula ipetrol leyo. You need insurance now. So all of these things now start to accumulate, and all of a sudden that little 6,000 rand disposable income you were enjoying, you were learning bad habits when you had it, now iyancipha. It becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. Now you only have a disposable of 1,000 rand. But over the years, when you had that disposable income, when you were salary rich, you were learning bad habits. So you've taught yourself, Guti, you just spend without a budget. Now that you've got the obligation, you no longer have the room. That's when people start saying, oh, I feel like I'm not earning enough. I feel like, no. It's because the decisions you made today, you did not account for tomorrow. So today when you are salary rich, it's important then to take that money and put it away, so that the day you actually have financial obligations that may need that disposable income, you actually can sit back and say, you know what, I don't need to buy a car that's got an installment of 3.5 because I've got a big deposit that I've actually been putting away when I didn't need a car. I can actually have a car with an installment of 1,500. I mean, my tax guy is always shocked at how much I paid towards my car. And that's because I put in a huge deposit when I bought my car, simply because I didn't want to feel like I'm paying 20,000 rand for a car every single month. I mean, I just can't. Even though I may have that disposable income, I didn't want to have that financial obligation of paying that much. But in the years when I didn't have that car, I was able to take that money and put it away. That's step number one. Step number two, too many of us, because we budget here, we budget here. The problem is many of us budget for a week only. We budget for a week only because if you actually ask any normal person, what do you have to pay for every month? They know the fixed things that they have to pay for at the beginning of when their salary comes in. People never actually budget for the 3 weeks that they need to live before their next salary comes in. And those 3 weeks can become really uncomfortable for many people. That's when people do this thing where they put money away, they save in that first week after salary comes in. So if you're 25, between 25 and 30, I mean, we know one of the financial institutions, FNB, did a whole research that says that South Africans actually spend their full salary, within 4 days of getting paid. But for most people, what they do is in that first week, they pay rent or they pay their bond, they pay for the car, they pay for insurance, they pay, sometimes they may pay the fixed amount of school fees, they buy grocery, boom, they are done. But if you look at the rest of the 3 weeks that people still need to live, people don't actually have a plan. Then the person, what they do is they go back to the savings and say, but oh, Gonje, I put away 3,000. Maybe I can take 1,000 rand out of that budget, and so I can get through the next 3 weeks. Or what they do is that's when the credit card comes out. Then they start using the credit card. So again, you are teaching yourself a bad habit because you are not fully budgeting for every week. So I always say, what you gotta do is pay for the fixed things in that first week. You're very correct. But then learn to budget for a week. So give yourself a living wage or a living stipend for every single week. The 3 weeks that are left after, before your next salary, those are the 3 things that you've got to do. But the most important thing that I wanted to make sure that we all understand in this specific video is that nothing happens overnight. A lot of us, our financial habits have been growing and gradually developing. And sometimes it may be very, very difficult for you to get out of those habits because it's the same as weight. To gain weight, very easy. Come on, to gain weight, you gain it. But you gain weight gradually. No one wakes up, yesterday you slept and you were size 30, tomorrow you wake up and now you are size 36. No one. It's a gradual thing. And it then becomes very difficult for you to take action. Same thing with finance. We gradually get ourselves into financial mess, and it may be very difficult for you to get yourself out of it. But the beauty is you can. You definitely can. So it's important for you to remember those things. The second thing that I want you to remember from this video is don't make financial decisions based on today's financial situation. Don't decide that today you can buy a car because you've got a disposable income of 6,000 rand. Then you go buy a car with an installment of 5,000 rand a month. Because in the period that you have the car, you don't know what may happen. You may find that you need to now cover an additional 1,000 rand. And that's when people start to feel like, actually, I'm not earning enough or whatever. It's because you did not, when you had an opportunity, when you were salary rich, and the rate or the needs, the amount you needed versus what you were earning, they were far apart. And that's when you must now develop the best financial habits. I always say many people who, if you are lucky enough to live in a country like South Africa and you do earn and you are salary rich, many of us think that we are great at our finances. We're great at managing our finances because, geez, I have a disposable income. But are you really doing any financial management? Or are you just lucky that you are earning a little bit more than what you need so you can get through month to month? But again, a person like that, you've got to then ask, are you not a paycheck away from going into a poverty spiral? I'm going to leave it at that. Let's catch each other on the next video. Mwah.